Hello and welcome to Art and Insurance. Today's case takes us to Paris, to a night the world watched in shock. Fire tore through one of the most important monuments in human history, and while the flames threatened stone and wood, another battle unfolded inside: the emergency evacuation of priceless artworks and sacred relics during the 2019 fire at Notre-Dame Cathedral. On April 15, 2019, as the roof of Notre Dame burned and the spire collapsed, firefighters and museum professionals faced a decision measured in minutes. The cathedral was not only a building, it was a repository of centuries-old art, religious relics, textiles, paintings, sculptures, and liturgical objects, many of them irreplaceable. Some items were removed in dramatic conditions. Others remained inside as smoke, heat, and water spread through the structure. The fire itself was only part of the threat. What followed was just as destructive: water saturation, soot contamination, chemical residues, and sudden environmental change. From an insurance perspective, this is where the real complexity begins. Unlike theft or total destruction, damage during emergency evacuation exists in a gray zone. Artworks may survive, but survival does not mean they are unharmed. Water penetrates canvas fibers. Smoke particles embed into porous surfaces. Temperature fluctuations cause microcracks. None of this is immediately visible to the public eye, but insurers don't evaluate drama. They evaluate condition. After the fire, experts began detailed condition assessments. The key question was not whether the artworks were saved, but whether they had suffered material alteration. In art insurance, damage does not require visible ruin. Any physical or chemical change that affects stability, longevity, or value can qualify as a loss. Water damage, in particular, is deceptive. Firefighting water often contains debris, ash, and corrosive compounds. When it contacts paintings, manuscripts, or textiles, it introduces long-term risks: mold growth, pigment migration, weakened supports. Even if an artwork dries and appears intact, its future preservation may be compromised. Smoke damage raises different issues. Soot particles are acidic and invasive. They settle deep into layers of paint and varnish. Cleaning them is possible, but cleaning itself is intervention, and intervention carries risk. From an insurance standpoint, restoration is not neutral. It may stabilize an object, but it may also reduce originality and, therefore, value. This leads to a crucial insurance distinction: restoration cost versus loss of value. Insurers don't only pay for conservation work, they also assess whether the artwork, after treatment, is worth less than before the incident. Even perfectly restored objects may suffer residual depreciation simply because they were damaged. Provenance records now include a fire event. That history follows the object forever. Responsibility in this case was shared and layered. The artworks belonged to different entities: the church, the French state, cultural institutions. Emergency evacuation was necessary, but it also exposed objects to handling risks. Insurers had to evaluate whether damage resulted from the fire itself, the firefighting effort, or the evacuation process. Each cause can trigger different coverage terms. This is where art insurance departs from conventional property insurance. Saving an object can still generate a claim. The Notre Dame case forced insurers, conservators, and institutions to confront a hard truth: preservation decisions made under crisis conditions are judged later under forensic scrutiny. Intent does not erase consequence. Heroic action does not eliminate liability. What followed was not a single claim, but a long process of documentation, monitoring, and reassessment. Some objects initially considered safe showed delayed deterioration months later. Insurance evaluations evolved over time, not overnight. The Notre Dame evacuation reminds us that in the world of art, damage is not always visible, and loss is not always immediate. Fire destroys quickly, insurance measures slowly. and responsibility does not end when the flames are extinguished. If you're dealing with art loss, damage, disputed claims, or questions of responsibility around valuable artworks, Art and Insurance is where investigation meets professional risk management. We analyze real incidents at the intersection of art, money, and liability, from museums to private collections. For expert support in art insurance, valuation, claims handling, or dispute resolution, contact us. Thank you for watching Art and Insurance. See you in the next video.